Welcome to Jack Tar's Journeys, where we make do and mend. I've got a garage, and in it I've got had a single socket. It's just not enough. I've got one on one side and nothing on the other. You know yourself, if you're in a garage, you need sockets all over the place. So what I've done is run some more cable and sockets. How did I do it? Let's go and take a look. So I should just add that the reason I'm using an FCU, or a fused control unit, a spare, is because you can't spare off a spare. But by adding the fused part of it, the fused switch, any circuits after that can only use 13 amps. So that fuse will go. If there's anything over 13 amp, it'll only ever draw 13 amp regardless of how many sockets you put on. But you can't spare off a spare. This is the way of doing it. Apparently, I'm not an electrician, but that's what I've been told by electricians, and that's the reason I'm doing it. The other way is to cut into your the ring, which is a lot more work. You've got to cut into it, then supply to all your new sockets, loop them through, and then back to the other side where you've cut it. So one side will be supplier, and on the other side where it comes back, it'll loop back into it. It's just a lot more work. This way, I'm just putting this in, running one cable, putting my sockets on, and that's it. It's the easier way of doing it. That's why I'm doing it this way. So I do hope that explains it. But like I said, if you need to know any more, just put it in the comments, and I'll try and answer you back. Thank you. I needed to add some points in my garage because I only had one single one, which I'll quickly show you. It's just that one there. That's the only point I had in my garage. So what I'm going to do, if you see below it, I'm just mounting a double. I'm going to put a double socket in there, change that one to a switched fused spare, and then I've run some cable from here up the wall, across, and he comes down, and I've got basically that socket and another one over there. I'll get some conduit and I'll put that in conduit. Yeah, I needed this because I've got no power over the other side whatsoever. So fed up running everything off an extension lead on there. So that's what I'm starting with, that, and then I'll reorganise the rest of the garage after that. I'm going to sleeve this earth cable and this earth cable, join them together. I'm going to put both the neutrals and both the lives together. I've got a socket. I've also got some earth cable, which I'm going to fit from this earth here and attach it to the earth on the socket, which I'll get. This is before I turn any of the electric off, so quite simple. On the back of it, neutrals, earths and lives. So the lives go in there, the neutrals go there, and the earths go in there. Right, crack on, show you in a minute before I connect it to the before I get the switched fused spare done. So there's all my cables attached to the rear. Maybe need to just undo this one, poke that one through a bit more, and maybe this neutral. Yeah, I'll do that. I've used this rubber grommet, or one of these rubber grommets. You can just see it there, and that's so that there's no chafing on the cables. Whether this is the correct box, these are the boxes that you need with the built-in bits and pieces, but I didn't have one. So he's secure, he's earthed. It's going to be on a switched fused spare, so but I've done it all so far okay. Next thing, turn the electric off and connect the supply. Take this socket off, put on the switched fused spare, connect that and the live to it, and that should be ready then to power up the sockets. So this is the switched fused spare that I bought. I'm literally just going to turn the electric off now and install this one. Yeah, let's crack on. You'll notice on these switched spares that there's two sets of terminals. So you've got your load, which is the ones coming out. You've got your supply, so your neutral. Hang on a minute, let me have a look. It's your live supply and your neutral. The earths are all common, so the earths can all go together. And then for your load, you've got your load live on here and your load neutral over here. That's what carries away and powers up whatever you've got. So just make sure you get them the right way around. The supply comes in on them two. All the earths are common, and then your load is on them two. Right, let's go and connect it up. You may get some that come like this one. So on this one, your neutral and your live, it says on there in, and then the other two, your live and your neutral supplies load are these two, and then you've got a couple of earths on here, so you can pick either of them or both of them. So there are differences by manufacturers. That's the only reason I've got that one, is I can tell when it's on because of the red light. I'm going to keep looking. If it's no good, I'll just stick the other one on. Right, let's crack on. So there it is, fitted. I've turned it on at the mains. Let's switch them on. Ideal. That was me charging on the other wall, so I know it's working. Let's plug one in here. Yep. Job done. Ideal. Next. So this is the plastic conduit. I'm going to put my cable in for surface mounting. It's pretty simple stuff. It's got a stick, a self-adhesive backing on it. As you can see, you just peel off a layer. And then there's a couple of grooves, one each side. And then this snaps into them. You just pull that off. Like that. I never had the proper conduit, so I did have some pipe covering. So it's like a U-channel that you put a clip behind it, and then you clip it into it. So that sufficed up at the top here, just basically so that the cable remains protected, so that if any of that timber comes through, it doesn't bang onto it. So I think that works fine. It's not the proper stuff. You should use the conduit, but it's what I had, and as I make and do and mend, I think it's safe enough for the position it's in. And there he is, fixed on. You literally push it against it, sit your cable inside it, and it's surface mounted. I've put mine up here because sooner or later along here I want to put a dust collection system, so I'll get a piece of 1.5-inch waste pipe or something and run it along the back with some gates on it, and that'll take all my woodworking devices. So yeah, I'll go to a central collection point, but that's how simple it is. But I would fix it before you put your cable, so wherever your run's going to be, put your conduit in, then put your cable into the conduit, it makes it so much easier. You can do it afterwards, but it's a bit of a pain. Because this is in a garage, I'm less worried about it. I know it's there, and I'm also going to be putting a pipe underneath it to take the dust away. Thanks very much for watching. Happy New Year.